Forbidden Frequency.
Yo. We're back here, episode 4 at Forbidden Frequency. It's Yasir representing One Love. To my left, we got who?
La maldita para, la luz que brilla mucho.
Hey.
Kevir, known as Kev. This will paint here with love and wisdom.
Yes sir. How about you, Namir?
Yo, how's it going, guys? I go by the name of 12NG, and I'm the type of guy that tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Love that. Alright, so today, guys, we are going to talk about self-love.
Self-love.
We're going to talk about...
Love all of you.
We're going to talk about... Love you too, bro. We're going to talk about self-growth.
Very important.
We're going to give you guys a little bit of our journey. Each step of the way that we've overcome. No, we're not here to judge anybody. We're just here to share our experiences on this journey. So, which one of you guys wants to start off with self-growth?
Let me take the lead here, because we all know Kavir is the big hit in regards to that. He definitely lived more than we did.
The cherry on top, baby.
So my self-growth journey was a difficult one. I do believe that. When you're growing up as a kid, right? Your imagination, your belief system is at all-time high. You really don't think you can't do anything, right? But as you're going into middle school, into high school, right, you get conditioned, right? And I feel like there's two outcomes out of this, right? One, you get conditioned and you get put into a mental state where it limits your growth. And I say limit, doesn't stop, it limits your growth. And then, or two, you figure out your own way of doing things. And doing so, right, you become separate from the group, right? You become what I like to call a lone wolf, right? You start attacking things because you understand at an early age that you have full control of your life. Now, that wasn't the case for me. My self-growth was hard. In other words, like I was a really negative person. I told myself day in and day out like I wasn't worthy enough for much. I didn't see success, right? And you get to a point in time where you just get tired, right? You want to see what the other side of the coin is like, right? So then I started basically lying to myself, man. I started saying like, yo, you're gonna have a great day today. It started like that. I remember this like if it was yesterday. Wake up one day in college, right? Now I'm going to UCC, and I'm like, man, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of always being negative. I'm tired of selling myself short. I started realizing my value as a man and how incredible of a human being I was. So, along with my journey, I discovered a lot about myself, and I became what you see today. What you see today is a man that is very positive, very high spoken. I held myself to a pedestal. I believe that in here 5 years I will be the man. I would be unrecognizable. I like to call it autonomous. I'm big on that. I'm big on not being compared to, because I'm nobody. I'm like nobody else. I am me. That wasn't something that I was able to say 5 years ago. So it's great. I honestly wouldn't change it any other way, because I believe that the journey that we all go through is made for us alone. And if you alter anything, it alters who you become at the end. And I feel like the universe makes no mistakes. You're meant to go through that. Why? Because you are capable of doing so. Because if you weren't capable of taking that journey would not be given to you. So that's my take on it. How do you feel about that?
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Can you let the folks at home know approximately when did your self-growth really start? Or when did you become aware that you needed to make changes?
I became aware when I was finally let go of my little bubble. I could say that I was a kid that was given everything to. I was told multiple times by multiple people that I didn't know what life was. I was the golden boy that was given everything. And until I finally made that first step where I stepped out of that bubble and everything was on me, was when I really started seeing like I need to do something different. Because at the end of the day, if it's up to me, there's no way in hell I'm gonna improve my life by being negative all the time, right? Because you just know that road already. You've done it for so long. You've done it so many times, right? you get tired of it, you know. And I went through everything that any normal person would go through, right? A key thing when you're starting to notice that you're going the opposite way is depression. I don't care what anybody says. Depression is a key way of your body telling you, like, hey, look, I don't like who you're trying to make me become anymore. You know, we need to cut that. You know, and that's where I think I drew the line. Where I started getting very depressed. I started thinking that I didn't deserve to live anymore. You know, when by all means I had every right to live. So right around my college is where I really stepped it up. I said, look, F this. I'm not gonna take that road no more, because it's gotten. I had a revelation. Like, you know, I have a lot of revelations where I'm just like, yo, look at my life currently. You know, look at the ultimatum. You've done nothing. You know, how can you speak one way, but then have results like this? And it was, you know, it was a really hard thing. Like I said, I always put a lot of pressure on myself, but still, look at the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin. I mean, look, you tell me 5 years ago, yo, you're gonna hop on a podcast. You know, you're gonna motivate a lot of people. They're gonna be inspired by you. I thought you were joking. You know, so this is great to see. You know, I gotta give my flowers one way or another. So this is definitely great.
Appreciate you sharing that wisdom, brother. What's up with you, Kabir? What's one of the first steps that you could share to the people at home that was a first step to self-growth?
Ooh. Honestly, what I would say would be more about looking at that mirror, boy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Stand in front of that mirror.
scary.
It can be scary, but looking at yourself in the mirror, right, and just taking a piece of paper and talk to yourself. Like, see what you're tired of. See, my thing is, like, I feel like growth is when you're tired of your own shit.
Right.
When you're just tired, you had enough, and it's like everything becomes a repetition. Everything is, each and every day feels the same. When you're just tired.
Thanks.
And that's when you start developing certain things. Right now, you need a challenge. I'm a person who always like challenges. I accept any challenge over it. Just me. I'll give me challenges every day, because those challenges after that, I'm gonna come out as a different man. So I would say stand in front of that mirror and just, I'm not saying to bring yourself down, but acknowledge certain things that, you know, your weaknesses, and strengthen yourself with those weaknesses, work on those weaknesses, and just saying fuck everybody to the point where just focus on you and go get uncomfortable. There's been certain things, like a few years ago, I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but I did some YouTube videos, right? Because that's when I was living alone, when I was like 20, 21, I was living alone for the very first time, and I was tired of sitting here waking up every day but just getting this shitty ass pay. At the time I was making like 1,000, but which 1,000 at the time was good for my age, but it was just not it for me, bro. I'll do the same thing. I'll fucking go to the same highway, turnpike to Manhattan. I go to Times Square to deliver some shit to Target, and from there on it was every single day. And I was just like, yo, I need something different. I'm not built for this. And then from there on, that's when I literally took the time to sit down and acknowledge, like, yo, I'm not liking this feeling. So I ended up looking at this video from, I forgot his name. It was Casey Neistat, and a bunch of other like people who do YouTube. And I got encouraged to sit here and do videos where I had to step out of my comfort zone. Before, I was just more to myself, and then after that, I started sitting here following what those videos told me to do, which was like, just do things that you wouldn't do on a daily basis. Like, I remember one time in that video that I had released was like, go to New York City or go to a crowded area where and just do odd things. Like, I remember I even laid down on the floor, bro. Laid down on the floor while I'm talking about right in front of the
city.
Yeah, bro.
Like right in the middle?
Yeah, bro.
Where
Not in the
stairs,
street.
like,
yeah,
right where the stairs is.
Yeah, bro. I did it in a few spots. I did it when where they do that. Where is that, in Times Square, where everybody, you know, have little steps right there. People were just looking at me like, yo, get out of the love. Like that. But I did that because at the time I cared about what people had to say.
Facts.
So from there on, right after I was done with that video, bro, I came up with the idea like, all right, so now I don't care what people say. I never really had that issue, but it was more about what my parents had to say.
Yeah.
So this all leads to growth, right? Because me doing one thing led to another, and then from that other thing, yo, I ended up getting a tattoo. Got this tattoo This means courage. This a Japanese tattoo. It's supposed to be a Japanese sleeve, but it's not done yet. But this was because I grew up to my parents saying, "Yo, si tú tienes un tatuaje, tú eres un tigre."
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know what in Spanish, what that means is, if you have a tattoo, you're a thug. You're considered a thug or a delinquent. I'm not. I'm far from a delinquent. I have no criminal record or any of that. But I said, you know what? Fuck what my parents have to say. I ended up getting this tattoo. And from there on, that's when I unchained myself from how my father viewed me or any of that. And then from there on, yo, you don't know the beauty behind it. Yo, the growth, I became a whole different man.
Yeah. Can imagine that.
Bro, crazy. When you stop thinking about what your parents have to like say or do or any of that.
I feel like when you stop anybody.
See, I didn't care about. I grew up with the perception of who are these people. You know, like if I knew them, I knew them. Yo, what's up? What's up? You know, I'm a popular dude. Like a lot of people know me, so I never really feared any of that.
Right.
I was not a follower. Always was a leader. So with that being said, I was like, yo, fuck it. My thing was that always stopped me was my parents, because you know, like my parents come here from a different country, trying to give us a better life. So now I'm trying to be like, yo, hold on. They did all of that. They came to a place where they don't know shit of English. So now it's my time now. I got to do for what they did for me.
Right.
But then I had to unchain myself for that because I was living short.
Right.
So I ended up saying, fuck all that. And that's where the growth comes to play, bro. And yo, I did a lot of uncomfortable shit that now I don't give a fuck. Now I really don't truly care. I used to be scared to stand in front of the camera, bro.
I remember that. Yeah.
Bro, when I stood in front of the camera, the very first time I recorded with Josue, and yo, I kid you not, you guys could ask him, yo, how many takes did you guys do, bro? Like 50 takes.
Yeah?
Just to record something for 2 minutes.
But
I'll be here and I'll be stuttering like,
It's crazy to even imagine that, because now look at the way you're talking.
Now, bro, I don't care. I'm like right now I feel unstoppable, bro.
That is your great way to see growth right there. You don't anywhere else, bro. A lot of people aren't vulnerable to that.
So with that being said, what it's gonna all lead to is just, bro, face the truth. Stand in front of that mirror and talk to yourself. Be gentle, show yourself some love, and write down some shit like what you want to do. How do you want to grow? How do you want to become? Who do you want to be? And that's what I'll have to say about growth, bro.
Now let me ask you, since I asked Namir, when did you start to start your self growth? Like really look in the mirror and attack that.
When I started living alone.
So 21 it was?
I'll say 20, 21. Yeah, I moved out when I was 20. 19, 20.
Do you feel like there's a proper age to start that?
Nah, hell no. But one thing is, I feel like in order to grow, you gotta kind of like detach yourself from the distraction, from the people that hold you back. So that's the reason why I, at that age, was when, like, you know, I had an apartment to myself, and I started really thinking like, damn, I don't like this about myself, or I don't like that, and I realized that there was a lot of traits that I, you know, took over from living in a toxic household. So I don't believe that there's any age, bro, because even now, I'm 28 now, and I'm still growing each and every day, bro. I feel like growth just comes in every day, bro. Just be patient with yourself in the journey. The journey is a beautiful one, and it's gonna be rough sometimes.
Real quick, I want to emphasize what Kabir said, right, about others people's opinion and why you shouldn't care for that at all. Understand this, people. When you're passing by, right, take the time out today, right, and think about everybody you saw today. I'm pretty sure you can dictate, like, pinpoint every single person. Why? Because people, bro, they just see you for 3 seconds and you're a 3-second thought. That's it. You're in and you're out. You know, you have to really understand that. And then when you start understanding that you're a 3-second thought, the lift is off, bro. There's no limit. You could just do everything because people are just gonna remember you for 3 seconds, unless you're a celebrity, unless you're big time in whatever kind of niche or organization that you are. 3 seconds is all the attention you get from the people, and then that's it, bro. You're gone.
Hey, check it though. In today's day, our attention span is so low that it don't matter if you're a celebrity. Today they post up that Kunta Kinte went to jail, and the next day they're talking about something else and nobody cares about it.
Yep.
But it's funny that you brought that up because the other day it was on my Snapchat. Yeah, it was on my Snapchat. I don't think I did this on Instagram too, but the question that I asked was, how long will you be a victim to others' opinion?
Oof.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because
How many answers did you get? You
Nobody.
probably got none because nobody's able to do
I
that.
wasn't. No, not even that. I wasn't. In today's day, you got to make people laugh to catch their attention. So I had to put. If you don't put a red nose, like looking like a clown out here, nobody's listening to you. So, but that's a question that you got to really think about it. We trap ourselves inside of this mental prism. Like right now, think about it. What do you want to do? Whatever it is, whether it's career-wise or whatever. Pay attention to your mind. What's the first thing that pops up? Oh, this person's gonna say this. Oh, that person's gonna say this.
It's all negativity too.
And going back to what Kabir said about facing your parents. Funny thing about that is that my little sister the other day, the other day I had some time to pick my mom up, and I called her. I was like, hey, would it be helpful for me to go pick her up? And she's like, yeah, but don't tell her that I'm in so-and-so place. And I told her, I was like, why? And she's just like, oh, I just don't feel like hearing mommy's da-da-da. And I let her know, like, I'm like, listen, I'm not saying you gotta conquer this today, tomorrow, but eventually you gotta let your balls drop. And I'm speaking from my own experience, and I feel like the first people we have to actually stand up to is our parents, because they don't do it maliciously, but they're trying to quote unquote protect us,
right.
And their perception of protection actually traps you in a box,
in a bigger box, in a smaller box,
and let alone that they came up in a different time, different fucking
era,
country,
everything.
Different era, So for me too, same thing with the tattoo, ears pierced. I just pierced my ears. I wanted to do this for a long time, and the other day I just said fuck it. Our parents are kind of the first ones that trap us in that box, sadly, and that turns into now you think you really care about other people's opinion, because it sucks, but our loved ones are kind of the first ones to knock us down, or point out our downfalls, instead of you come up with them with an idea, and instead of like congratulating you, it's like, oh no, that's stupid, why don't you go become a cop?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I was there. I said no.
It's crazy that I forgot about that. It's funny I said cop, but that's basically your storyline.
Bro, I got to the last step, psychological test. I'm looking at the therapist like,
is that it?
Eso no está pa' mí, no. I looked at him, I swear to you, I was looking at him, I was like, the debate was, am I gonna walk out of here and smoke this blunt, or am I gonna tell my father, yo, I'm in? And I chose the blunt, baby.
Hey,
that's it.
You chose yourself.
That's it, yeah. Hell yeah, that's when I told my dad, I'm like, papi, ahí ya se acabó. And that's when I moved out.
Hey.
That's a part of growth, though. A lot of people don't understand. But right, let's piggyback to what Yasir said about his sister. That's limiting her, because one, you just don't know, right? Like, you don't. The whole point of this journey is trying to figure yourself out, right? You need to try things out. There may be things that you don't like. There may be things that you do like, but you're not gonna ever find out if you don't try. And again, this is your life. If you're caring about what your parents opinionate about you, don't, because 5 or 10 years later, you're gonna regret not doing that decision because your parents told you not to. Like, that could be your one ticket out, and now you lost the opportunity because of your parents.
Can I say something onto this before you guys say anything else?
Yes, sir.
I have 2 things to say. If you guys are young, or not even that, this goes for everybody. My father taught me this one thing, and this until this day goes, I think it's engraved in me till death. Un peso, el único amigo es un peso en los bolsillos.
The only friend in this life is $1 in your pocket.
If you didn't know, now you know. If you have questions about that, I'm going to break it down to you. So with that being said, sometimes when we expect to have friends through tough times, you would realize who your real friends are through tough times. And on top of that, when you die, this is another thing.
Transition.
When you die, people are going to forget about you the next day. So live for you.
Say that again for the people in the back.
When you die, tomorrow you will be forgotten. Nothing is more valuable than your own life. Materialistic shit is nothing. Today you can have a fucking Audi, like myself. You can have an Audi, get rid of it tomorrow, and then tomorrow you can have a fucking Porsche or Lamborghini. It does not matter. It's just possessions. You can fucking, it don't matter. What really matters is people, and that's it. People and family. That's what matters.
If I die today, would it be a holiday? Real quick, I'm gonna give a quick example for me personally. When I had to face my parents, this shit was scary. This day was nerve-wracking. I had anxiety all fucking day. I was with my other boy Kev, and you know I was all day with him making deliveries. At the time, he worked for a restaurant. And I was going back and forth. Like I'm talking about, I looked like an emotional wreck. Like I was about to make a life or death situation. And basically, I was going to school at Lincoln Testicles for diesel mechanics.
I was about to go there too.
Bro, believe it or not, that was not for me. I don't know what I was thinking.
And I was about 4 months in. You know, I could have went through it. I have a certain passion for mechanics, but it just got to the point where, you know, I didn't really like. It wasn't really.
For you.
Yeah, it wasn't suiting me, and I don't know. So you know, I've always wanted to do trucking, and trucking was like a plan C, and going to Lincoln Tech was plan A. But I realized that, you know, who was I doing this for? So, you know, a couple months into the school, I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm not doing this no more. And you know, all day I was dragging this moment to the end of the night, and I had to face both my parents. And I fucking let them know what it was. I went downstairs to the basement where my dad lived. We all lived in the same house, and he wasn't trying to hear it. In the beginning, he was telling me, "No, mijo, no, deja la escuela, mijo." Then I'm just like, "Bro, come on, bro. When you're driving in the truck, if it's cold outside, you got the heat on. If it's hot outside, you got the AC on." And I finally convinced his ass. First thing I did after that was go upstairs and turn that Xbox on. And my mom walks into the room. She's like, "Mijo, it was Sunday. Prepárate para ir para la escuela mañana."
She didn't know.
She didn't know there was a new sheriff in town, and she almost got a heart attack. But she's alright now. But yeah, that was one moment in my life that I had to face my parents.
I had a similar experience with my mom in regards to Amazon. Amazon to her was like the cream of the crop. I was making great money. You know, I was just at a point in my life, bro. I was bored out of my ass. I'm gonna say that. Alright. When you get to a point where people are doing the job for you and the joy of whatever you're doing runs out, just know that is your signal to leave. You know. A lot of people don't like jumping from job to job, but I believe that it's a great experience to do because you learn different things from different jobs. My mom didn't really like the fact that I was leaving Amazon. I left with no hesitation. You know, 5 months where I was struggling and this and that, but at least I did it on my own terms. You know, I don't want to get to a point in my life where I'm already at my deathbed and be like, yo, I never had control of my life. You know, I never want to get that. I think that's the worst thing to happen to humanity. When you get to your deathbed and you're not happy with the life that you live. And that's what I was trying to prevent. And like I said, from this moment, I mean, I've been good. Everything I've done, my mom has managed to accept me for who I am and understand that I'm not going to be held down for her aspirations. I'm doing the best that I can to increase her aspirations, to give her a life that she didn't think it was possible. The only way to do that is to go against everything that people say about you and just go with your heart, go with your gut. Because at the end of the day, it's your life and you know what's best for yourself.
You know, I feel that. Yo, listen, one thing for sure, I gotta tell you guys, give yourself props for that too. You know, give yourself a pat on the back because it's hard, bro. It's difficult. And on top of that, I just want to share my story. The ride from, I was like maybe like 40 minutes out. coming to Elizabeth, I was nervous as shit. So I feel you. Yo, my hands were sweaty throughout the whole ride. I'm like, yo, I'm about to tell my father, like, fuck this shit. I'm not being no cop or whatever the case is. And
it must have been like a godly thing for your dad to be a cop, right? Like I don't know.
No, my father wasn't a cop. My father was an electrician, bro.
No, but
he's saying a godly thing.
Oh yeah, hell
you,
yeah.
like.
He seen that. He was like, el hijo mío va a ser oficial. Yo, he was telling everybody in the yard, like, okay, es un oficial. Yo, I had an uncle he spoke to. He was like, hey, que tú vas a ser comandante. I'm like, yo. Hey,
hold on.
Yo, knowing your dad, he was probably already telling girls he got them with the PBA card.
Yo. Nah, listen. He was telling everybody, like, he's the one. He's the one. He's gonna be the whatever top dog, this and that, whatever. Anyway, so I'm driving home and I'm thinking like, shit, I don't know how to break this shit. I called everybody. I called all my boys at the time. Yo, nigga, we smoking today. At the time, I didn't smoke for 2 years because of the whole drug testing and all that extra stuff.
Right.
So I had to do detox and all that. So after that, I was like, yo, we smoking today. And then I get to my house. I walk in, my father first, you know, he's excited. And so I'm over here taking off my tie, taking off my suit. He's like, you're good, ¿cómo te fue? Yeah, ¿cuándo tú te vas? You know, whatever you go to the boot camp.
More excited than you, bro.
Hell yeah. And I'm here just shitting bricks. I'm like, damn, I don't know how to tell him to break his heart. So then I'm like, nah, you know, I used to play around, bro. I used to play around with my family all the time. Yo, nervioso, cagando, man. And then I'm like, no, you know what, pa allá? He was like, da relajo, what the fuego. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm really not. I looked at him dead in the eye, bro. Nigga stuttering, like, nah, I'm that serious, bro. I'm not going. They told me, I think they said something about like, I don't remember if they told me there or whatever, but they was gonna email me afterwards, and I showed the email the day after, or whatever the case was. But he was like, ¿Cómo así? So, ¿qué tú vas a hacer ahora? ¿Qué tú vas a hacer? And then, you know, after that, he was like, so what you gonna do? And after that, bro, he didn't talk to me maybe for like about a week.
Jeez.
Yeah, he was heartbroken. But after that, we sat down and he had a convo. He told me, he was like, yo, listen, whether you want to do that or not, it is what it is. You're grown. You know what you want to do, and I stand by your side. Mm-hmm. That meant everything to me.
That's big.
That meant everything to me. And what I'm trying to say by this is that I know sometimes if you guys in that same predicament or whatever the case is, your parents love you no matter what. Okay. Whether it's tough love or whatever it is, ignorant love, they still love you. They just want to see you do good.
Right.
They just sometimes have a weird way of showing it.
Yeah.
And they also want to freaking live their lives through you.
Yeah, true. That's what happened with me, bro. So, with that being said, don't be scared to take that leap of faith. Trust in yourself and believe in yourself, and trust me, you're gonna be more than good.
Yeah. I wanted to add something. You spoke about living with regret, and in the episode 3 we spoke about time traveling. And I want to share this with you guys. It could help you guys out. Maybe it could, maybe it can't. But it definitely helped me out. One day I sat with myself and I time traveled to the future. I time traveled to my deathbed, and I asked myself, would I rather regret doing it or not doing it? And the answer to that was I'd rather regret doing it. You know, because I don't know if you guys can relate with me, but you have these things in your life that you want to do, and you sit there and don't do it, and then the day goes on to the next day, and now you're like, fuck, I wish I would have. I wish I would have. That shit is killer. So I just wanted to drop that one.
Yeah, for sure. Damn, that was the thing that I seen too. It was just something about mierda se me fue, but anyways.
Namir, you was gonna say something?
I was just gonna emphasize on how important that is, the fact that you spoke to yourself like that, because you know we talked last episode we spoke about time, right? And I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know who did it. If whoever did it, shame on you. I don't know who gave people the idea that you get a reset button with your time. You know, you really don't. You know, this is a one-way ticket. You know, you don't get anything back. And if you want to take advantage of this, you have to, and I can't stress this enough, you have to put yourself in a great position, because You don't get this back. All the decisions, everything that you do from here on out, it's on you. And I'd rather go down as a guy who fought, who did it his way, who struggled but still did it his way, emphasizing his way, right? Than be a guy who was the yes man. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, I'll do that. And then be unhappy the whole entire time. Remember, you get one life. Make the most of it, but also be happy. And the best way you're going to do that is by doing things that make you happy. You have to make that decision yourself. You know?
Yes, sir. So, I would like to ask you guys, on the topic of self-growth, would you guys say that forgiving yourself has to do with that? Has anything to do with that?
With growth?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, I mean, I feel like it depends on the person, but yeah, I used to, yes. I believe so because I was a person who used to put a lot of pressure on myself. And, you know, as you guys know, if you guys don't know, you're about to know, life doesn't always work as you plan. And being aware of that, I used to always plan things out, and it didn't work most of the times. And when it didn't work, I used to always blame me rather than understanding that life only unfolds at the right time. So I used to build a lot of animosity and anger towards myself, and I would take it out on myself even without being aware of it.
Right.
So it got to the point where, like I said before, I stood in front of the mirror and I had to forgive myself for treating myself poorly.
Right.
So I do believe that forgiving, I'm not saying that you're going to forget.
Right.
You can never forget that, because if you forget that, then what's the purpose of you doing all of that?
Right.
Forget the lesson then.
Exactly.
So you're doing the lesson again.
So I had to forgive myself for that. And forgiving yourself, I believe it goes into depth, into different forgiveness, I guess you can say. But I definitely believe that's a big role in life in general. Like when you're a person like me, where you pour that pressure onto yourself.
Right? Yeah.
I believe it's very important.
Definitely.
I wanted to add something that you said about you were kind of implying that things happen with time, like things happen when they need to happen.
Right.
This is somebody who's said this to me. Shout out to J Love. She's helped me a lot in the last couple of years.
J Love.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know, this is something she used to always say, and I think you guys could take this with you, and don't forget it. But she always tells me the universe works with you, not against you.
Facts.
Yeah, and when you take that with you, you start to realize, you know, even in those, you know, because we have those times that, you know, you feel suffocated, like, oh my god, you know, things aren't going as planned. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was planning to do things XYZ, and now fucking ABC's happening. What do I do? You know, don't forget to ground yourself and realize that, hey, you wanted to open this door, but the universe stopped you from opening it for a reason, you know. So I want to give you, Namir, a chance to share with us about forgiving yourself. If you could give us an example about forgiving yourself and how you feel about that.
I think it goes hand in hand. Forgiving yourself, you know, and coming to terms that what you did in your past life was on you. You know, you have to accept it. It is what it is. You know, you can't move forward if you're being held back by something. You know, and in order to open one door, you must close another. Right? And if you leave that door open, the door in front of you will never open. Why? Because you have trauma. It's either trauma, a vice, a couple demons, whatever it is, bro. Forgiving yourself is a stepping stone to growth. Right? You want to get to the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself has already forgiven itself. It's forgiven you, you know. And again, I don't know why people shy away from who they are. You know, you have to love yourself every aspect of it, the good and the bad. You know, and in order to get balance, you know, is a big thing here, right? So you want to grow. I'm telling you, the first spot to go is your demons. It's the one thing that you're running away from, right? Shadow work, right? That's what we talk a lot, especially this year. He talks a lot about that shadow work, and it's been something that I've truly have just really brought into my life, right? When I've done a lot of bad things in my life, right? I accepted it. That's just who I was. Is it me now? No. But that was a version of me that I can't deny, you know? And until people get to that point where they're like, yo, that is who I was, not who I am, then you're going to stay the same.
Do you mind giving us an example of you forgiving yourself?
Yeah, so in high school, right, I forget high school, I forget middle school because I didn't like the human being I was. For those who know me, you know I was a Tasmanian devil, right? I was the guy that hit lockers, I was the guy that had a lot of problems. I was weird, you know, I was weird. And I always ran away from that. I ran away from the fact that people, if I ever saw anybody from high school, they didn't see me, Namir Garcia, a podcaster doing amazing things. They saw Namir Garcia, the guy who used to hit walls and have anger management problems. You know, so it was something that I never liked because it was like, it's not me, you know. But I came to terms, like, it's okay, you can see me as that guy. Just understand that you're not gonna get that guy anymore. I am a whole different breed, as I keep saying on this podcast. And the guy that you thought I was has left the building, baby.
I want you to give yourself a round of applause for that, because you know, I've known you since fucking
long time, man.
6 years old.
Long time.
You know, and standing from the outside, I definitely see the change. You know, I was one of the people that was there when you would. I would try to control you. You know.
Imagine that, trying to control me. Like, that just sounded like an animal at that point.
And you know, you used to just go into the Hulk, Tasmanian devil. You know what I mean? So
I love the fact that I can laugh about it.
Yeah, that's beauty. That's beautiful, bro.
I kind of wish I was there.
You would have been like, yo, it's crazy. I mean, I can't put it into words because it's just like, what? I was really messed up in the head, bro. Like, I was going through stuff, a lot of things that I can't
Emotions, my brother.
Yeah.
We all have emotions, bro.
That's a guy who has no control of his emotions.
So, would you guys mind sharing how important it is to forgive yourself?
Did we do that already?
Yeah. I don't know why I asked that.
What if we go off of mental strength? How important it is to be mentally strong in a world that isn't.
How about somebody ask me about how important is it to forgive yourself?
How important is it to forgive yourself?
Alright, hold on, we gotta do it again. Go ahead.
Oh man. Alright, now that we never got your opinion, class. So tell me, what does it mean, or how important is it to forgive yourself?
Okay, so from my perspective, I'm gonna look at you guys straight in the soul on this one. So for me, in my perspective, how important it is to forgive yourself, I think it's very important. You know, more important. I want you to put it in the pedestal next to eating food every day, because you know, a lot of us are hard on ourselves, especially men, and I'm speaking from experience where I've done things in my past that you know, some people look at it like, oh man, you're good, you know, but from my perspective and from the spiritual perspective, I knew something wasn't right on certain things that I've done, and you know, I'll journal about it and all that, but it wasn't until I truly forgave myself, you know, and one thing that I got from forgiving myself in many different things in my life is that I feel untouchable. You know, like you know, this is years of forgiving myself, but I've gotten to the level where I can go to sleep with a smile on my face when it comes down to looking at my demons in the soul, in their eyes, and shit, grab their hand even. You know, like, a lot of us, you know, we walk around with a certain perception of ourselves, and we care about what people think, and you guys haven't really truly forgiven yourself, and you're trying to hold this image up, you know, and I'm to the point where somebody can go into my closet and pull out the darkest skeleton out, and post this shit on every social media, and I'm gonna laugh about it.
Yep.
Because I've already forgiven myself, and that's all that matters. That you forgive yourself, not nobody else, because it's your journey, it's your story, it's your skeleton, it's your shadow, it's your demon.
Facts.
So,
what's up? That deserves a round of applause. Here we go. Here we go.
That's growth, baby.
That's growth. That's good, man. You gotta feel that, understand that, and know that you're heading in the right direction.
yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Another thing for sure is that I don't know why, like I guess my spirit just wanted to share this. There's 8 billion people in this world. 8 billion. And you're stopping yourself because of a perception of somebody else. Fuck them.
Who may not even know your name, may not even know your backstory, may not know a single thing about you.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say about that is that there's 8 million people and you're stopping your higher self from being out there, from actually really living, enjoying life for what you really want to do or what you want, however you want to feel, whatever you want to do. Bro, fuck it, bro. Just do what you want to do.
The world is yours for the taking.
Yes, sir. Also, I would like to add that when a trending topic in today's day is self-love. So when you learn to truly forgive yourself, that's a huge form of self-love. I want you to understand that when you talk about self-love, forgiving yourself is part of that.
Well, since you're talking about that, what's your version of self-love? What is self-love to you?
Hey, you just open up a door, my brother.
That's what we're here for, bro.
Alright.
That's what we're here for. Let's
So-
go. Lay it down.
Hello?
So I'm still not fully
At the pinnacle.
yeah, but in so far what I've gotten from self-love. And what was your question again?
What's your version?
Oh,
What's
what's
your-
my version? I'm
yeah.
sorry. My version of self-love is putting you first, protecting your energy, learning when to say no. You
Big
know,
shot.
that's a big one. I have a very big heart, and I've been taken advantage of multiple times. And I'm at the point of my journey where, I'll tell you, I have more peace telling you no, and I don't care how you feel about it, because at the end of the day, I know what's going on in my shoes. And if you go to put my shoes on,
You would understand.
but the shoe doesn't fit for a lot of people, and I don't need it to fit, because it's my journey, it's my
Sure.
story.
Sure.
So back to the question that I forgot.
Your version of self-love.
So my version of self-love is putting yourself first and protecting your energy.
Now, for somebody who doesn't know what putting yourself first is or protecting your energy, what is that? Like, I'm getting really. We're gonna dumb it down, because there are people out there who just aren't at this frequency. They just don't understand. They're gonna look at this and they're gonna be like, "Yo, what is this? What are you talking about?"
I'm going to simplify it.
Okay, so for example, this is beautiful because I just went through it. So I have a cousin who recently came into the country. So he came in through the
Vino del patio.
came through the border, and he has no papers. So he called me the other day, and he asked me if I could make him an Uber Eats, and I go to think with my heart, and I tell him yes, and then I start to think on the logical side of things. First of all, right now I barely have time for myself. I barely have time to give myself self-love, to go home, stretch, meditate, journal, do my little yoga sessions, check in with myself. So I started breaking that down. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna have to now be responsible to this person, put money on my bank account. First of all, I got somebody running around with my identity. Shit, what if one day I wanna go do Uber Eats and now somebody reports him because they figure out that I'm not this 6'3", Hershey, Milk Hershey walking around. He's a lot darker than me, So for me, I started breaking that down. Oh, also taxes. I'm gonna have to pay taxes for that money, So it was something that I was like, yo, look, listen, I love you. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to help you, but I can't help you in that form, So
There's a quote that goes, "You can't help other people unless you help yourself."
yeah. So with that being said, that you just said, that's something that I recently learned. I was at a point where I was trying to help everybody else, pour into everybody else, and I literally realized, I'm like, hold on, I have to be selfish. Selfish is another one that I was missing there on self-love. You have to literally be selfish, and for the good-hearted people, you're gonna feel like you're doing something wrong. Trust me, you're not. You gotta just go with it and don't worry about what people think. Put you first, because if you aren't good, the people around you that you're trying to protect, trying to pour into, they're not gonna be good. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Love that.
Nice. I like that.
I love that. I really do love that, man. Because that is a big thing for you. I have noticed that you've taken more assertive of your life.
Thanks.
And it's a great thing to see, man. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people just get sucked into that, and they just don't know when to let go and say no. Yeah, what you got for us?
Self-love.
Self-love is everything. Especially right now, I feel like this is the very first time in my life that I'm actually loving myself properly, bro.
Love to hear it.
And properly to the fact of like, I'm trying to change my physique, how I look, everything.
You're doing a great job out there.
Everything, bro. I'm trying. Thanks, appreciate that.
I see it.
But for sure is with everything, bro. Before I used to look at people with the kind of my heart, like, because I would understand certain things. I understand emotions. I understand how people, when people react to certain things, and especially women, when it comes to women.
Yep.
So understanding emotions and all that shit, I would like to try to take the pressure out of people and put it on me, because I have the ability to heal and to grow and all that extra stuff. Like, I'm aware when there's something needs to be healed or fixing or whatever the case is. So I decided to say, nah, man, I'm putting myself first. Like you said, like, this is the very first time, and I feel like now I'm in charge of me. I don't have nobody. I have no burdens. I don't have anybody bringing me down or any of that. So, nah, but I'll tell you what, was one of the most difficult challenges ever.
Yeah.
Because I like to see people good, bro.
Yeah.
I like to see people good. So we got to the point where I'm like, okay, like at the time when I came to like I came into like snapping out of the bullshit.
Right.
When I say bullshit, meaning as in trying to make sure everybody was good and put myself last.
Right.
I was like, I went through something difficult, right? And I was like, oh shit, but it was because of that. And then I had a self-talk to myself. I was smoking. And I was talking to myself, I'm like, and just my kindness was more like putting them first. Yeah. And then I kind of snapped myself out of it. I'm like, hold on, what about me?
Right.
Nobody's worrying about me. Nobody's making sure if I'm good or whatever the case is.
And that's the harsh reality of it.
And that's when I kind of snapped out of it. I was like, hold on. Just like that. And then I even turned off the blunt, and I was just like,
oh no.
You had to tap it out.
Bro,
it's serious. You tapped it out.
I tapped it off, and I was just like, nah. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this shit right. And this time is gonna be the time that I embedded that into me.
Yes.
And on top of that, since I always wanted to uplift everybody and want to put people on and all the extra shit, I realized that in order for you to give, you have to make sure you got.
Yep.
So now, my thing is more like, hey, I'm gonna snap a finger. So when I realized it was that, I'm like, in order for me to make this foundation like firm and steady and lifelong, that me wanting to help everybody, I'm like, fuck that. I gotta focus on me first. I gotta make sure I'm good, and once I'm good, that's when I'm bringing everybody up.
Hey.
And that goes for everybody. If you fuck with me and you family to me, just know that we're going up, baby. This is the year.
Yes, sir. I like to piggyback on that. Look, real quick, guys. This is a rare breed right here of people, because we all said, if you've been really paying attention, you notice the answer has been similar, right? My ability to self-love is when you turn into the villain, right? Is that selfish motive you get, right? Where it's, I used to be on the same boat as these two guys to my left, right? Wanted to pour so much water into other people's cups, and then when I was drained and I was gasping for water, you know who was there for me? Nobody. You know, you think I had people telling me like, yo, you pay your rent, bro? Here's an extra $200-300. Like, you know, did you eat today? Like, you know, it's stuff like that. And the harsh reality for me was, it's not about them, you know, it's about me. If I don't make sure I'm eating right, if I don't make sure I'm living right, if I don't make sure that everything's on time, nobody else will. And so when you start realizing that, you make the switch, right? And now you become selfish. Now it's all about me. Now it's all about being quote unquote, because a lot of people are gonna see this, right? They're gonna see you as the villain. Now you switched up. No, I can't believe you like that now. No, there's nothing wrong, bro. I'm gonna tell you something. There is nothing wrong with putting yourself first. Who cares if people say you switch up? Who cares if you lose people on the way there? You know what that is? That is life releasing you from all those people that don't deserve you, right? Because if you are the kind of person who's putting so much into other people, you know how rare it is for people to do that? Who say, forget myself, forget me, let me help you out in the best way I can. That is a rare trait. And for you, whoever is out there taking advantage of people like that, shame on you. Shame on you, man. Shame on you, because instead of doing that, we need to help each other. He helps you, you help him, and y'all grow together. And that's something I also wanted to talk about, how a lot of people like to grow as individuals and not as a group. But as you can see here, 3 examples of 3 individuals who are going to grow together and shine together. And I love that.
One love.
Hey,
Now,
in order, they say there's this quote saying, I have to tone my voice.
You gotta get that radio voice in.
They say it takes a community to raise a child.
Hey,
And it takes a tribe to raise a child. And the thing is that people in, I feel like, United States, because back at home in DR, they still do that.
they still do that.
I'm sure they do that in
It's
Colombia,
definitely a thing here. Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm trying to do here is that, well, I'm pretty sure we're all in the same boat, bro.
Yeah,
Is that we're trying to build this community to give a helping hand,
Yep.
and we're trying to raise this community together. Because you can't do this alone.
Nah.
In order to build an empire, it has to be a full community.
yes, sir.
And that's all it is, baby. It's all love.
Now, before we leave, I want to ask you, Namir, because out of all 3 of us, you're the only one so far. Man down.
I think I know where this is gonna lead to. Go ahead.
You're the only one who's been blessed to bring in a child into this world. So, as we speak about self-love, can you let some of the people at home know how do you balance those boundaries when it comes to your loving girlfriend, wife, and now your 5-month child?
You know, it's been a blessing in disguise. Now self-love, like, you know, when you get a baby in your life, and you know, you really, you know, it's a thing that I can't describe. The love that I have for my daughter is different, and there is some bumps on the road, because there will be challenges in your life, because, you know, if you get a person, or just in general, you have people who don't see goal at the end, they're really not gonna be on board with your journey, you know. And my self-love, right, yes, it is about me, and it's still to this day about me, but I also think about her. You know, think about the family that I want to have, the things that I want to do for them. And it's hard, because, you know, it's no longer about me. You know, I'm bringing 2 more people in my life, and I'm bringing the wages of 2 more people, you know. And even though they may not want it, I feel like it's my duty as a man, right, to lead and do the best that I can. So yeah, there's some times where I have to reflect and be like, yo, you're doing a great job. You're being a father, you're being a provider, because it could be hard on you. You may think that you're not moving in life. You may think, you know, you may talk really bad about yourself because you haven't gotten to where you need to be. But you also have to understand that you are doing your best, and you're doing the best that you can for people. And again, that self-love is key, because if you don't tell yourself you're doing great, right, and you start listening to other people, and they're saying like, yo, you're not doing enough for your daughter, you're not doing enough for your wife, then you're gonna feel like you're not doing enough, you know.
Yeah.
So you always have to I consistently tell myself every day, bro, I'm doing the best that I can for my daughter, you know. I am a great dad, you know. I compare myself to like other people, you know. So yeah, like, you know, it's just like, how many dads, right, have a kid and just be like, nah, I'm done, you know. They wipe their hands away, and I'm like, no, bro, I'm gonna see this through. Why? Because I'm built for this. I love my kid. I love the challenge of being average, right, and having a kid, and still going through life and succeeding. Because again, you know, self-love. I believe in myself. I love who I am. You know, I love the fact that I'm a dad. So it truly has changed my life for the better, and like I said, I love that woman. You know?
How can you give us one example of balancing that though when it comes to become being selfish though and taking time for yourself?
Yeah, because so in other words, doing this podcast is something that this is for me. This is what I like to call my me time, right? And there are times, my girlfriend comes at me like, oh, you're not spending enough time with your daughter, or yo, like I need more help and all that, and she doesn't see everything that I'm doing, right? This podcast, 2 years from now, whatever it is, it's gonna shine and it's gonna change her life, right? And I feel like that's when she's gonna notice, right? I think that's the hardest part, like I said, always telling yourself like, yo, I'm doing it even though people are not seeing it, because they're not always gonna see the good things you're doing for others. They're just gonna see, they want results. People want results, and until you get those results, they're never gonna see you any other way but as a guy who's just doing things,
Yeah, you're gonna have to take on that time traveling machine with you.
Yeah. I do that a lot, believe it or not. I already see myself walking out of my house with Elena, with the kind of life I want. I see this every single day, and that's big for me, time traveling, because there are points in my life where I wake up and I don't want to be here. But you always have to see the end goal, You always have to see that down the line, all of this is going to be worth it. And like I said, self-love has got me there because I love everything that I am, and I've never been happier with myself, I think I have an amazing life, which was something that I realized today.
Yes, sir. I mean, we all special, man. If you guys paid attention in health class, when our dads ejaculated inside of our mothers, it was off to the races. So not everybody made it. And you're here because you made it. So
we're a bunch of winners, you heard?
Yes, sir. Anything else you guys want to share?
Believe in yourself.
One love.
You are the best. Remember that. You're amazing. You were meant for great things. And as we end here the podcast, I want to thank everybody for their love and support. Just know it doesn't go unnoticed. And as always, I go by name of 12NG. And this is what we like to call Forbidden Frequencies.
One more thing. I'm sorry to cut this off. Came to me.
Go ahead, man.
Tú eres una luz.
Hey.
Y brilla. Oye, it doesn't matter how dark the days are. Just remember, the light, you're the only one with the switch. Turn that switch on. And imagine, if you guys know what a dimmer is, sometimes when our emotions gets in our ways, we dim our lights. Or now when other people try to bring your dreams down or shit on your dreams or your goals or whatever, fuck that. Keep that dimmer up high and keep on vibrating. Break that fucking switch and keep on fucking lighting. You got this.
Hey, you beat me to it because I was gonna say, there's a saying that says the light is always shining. Like on rainy days, it looks gray outside, but guess what? Behind those clouds, the sun is literally still there. So literally break the switch and remember the light is always shining, no matter how dark the storm is. So,
shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like your forehead.
like how DJ Khaled says. What does he say? The sun is shining on me.
Oh.
Hey, come on, man. Look at that shine, that glow.
We're gonna have to edit that out and definitely put
peace and love. Peace and love, fam.
Cuídate, amor.
Peace.
Mwah.
Ahí. Romántico.
Hey.